I like to think about the founding of this institution as firmly grounded in that moment of social activism in Berkeley in the late 60s.
The museum has always been kind of at the forefront of how artists were pushing what a museum can do and be, even as early on as the 1960s, 1970s, and that history, I think, reverberates into the present. I think it's important to think about the roots of museums and how many of those roots were also created in ways that were exclusionary.
Thinking about how we can bring in historically marginalized groups and experiences and artists and art forms into the center of what we do.
I had the opportunity here to curate my first show with an artist named Gabriel Chile, who's from Tucumán, Argentina.
We had this very beautiful relationship where Gabriel did much of the work in the sculpture courtyard at Art Practice, involving students in the construction. The students got to know the artist and his team and learned a tremendous amount by having that relationship.
One thing about our work that I get very excited about is how we're able to connect our audiences to the most amazing, important filmmakers and artists of our time. For example, we had Werner Herzog, Joel Cohen, Frances McDormand, Pichapong Versitikung. They were all here within a year of each other, and speaking to our audiences, speaking to the public about their work in a very direct and open and generous manner is something that can only happen at Bampfa.
Bampfa is incredibly unique in terms of how it serves art, film, and students. I don't think there is another museum that is really equally devoted to those three areas.
I joined the Bampfa Student Committee in my freshman year, and now it's my third year in the Student Committee, and it has really been a great grounding space. Bampfa Student Committee really connects students with the museum. We lead a lot of arts-related programming for students and also just a community to talk about art and film with everyone.
UC Berkeley really always has been at that forefront of change happening both locally and globally, and it's amazing how the museum has been within that context and how it will continue to address that context.
Being able to see yourself represented in art makes things seem more possible for students when they can recognize themselves.
The Museum of the 21st Century, to me, looks like Bampfa. It's a museum that engages the community, and it's not just one community, but it's many communities that come into this institution. But it also extends outside the museum as well, and it comes into our classroom and it comes into our research, and therefore we can transport those ideas and those thoughts out into the world.